Hey guys, Christian here. In today's video, I'm gonna make you a little crash course in how to get started with MyFitnessPal. Now, the way we are gonna do it, because it's gonna be a little bit tricky, is I'm recording this video on my camera from which you're watching me now, and then I'll be clipping in some video footage from my phone, because the way you will be tracking is going to be on the phone. So I'm not going to do a computer recording of my laptop or like the desktop, because it's everything happens on your phone. Now I will be using a iPhone to do this. If you have an Android, I will assume that the layout looks the same, and regardless, I am almost positive that this is going to be just fine if you whatever platform you're on. So but of course, first step is to download MyFitnessPal app from an app store, or the equivalent for Android. You download the app, you'll set it up, basically just create a profile, and so we have to understand one thing. With MyFitnessPal, the way we will be using it is just to track, okay? We're not gonna let MyFitnessPal tell us how many calories you need to eat every day. We're not gonna use any step counter. We're not gonna let this be the coach at all, because it's terrible, but it's really good at measuring calories. So if we look at the screen now, you should be able to see my phone screen here in the center of the screen. Yep. And basically what I have here is just a typical example of what I could be eating these days. Before we break down how we log these different things, let's just go over what we see on the screen. We can see that we have breakfast, we have lunch, and we have dinner. And then I have a snack. And if we add all these things together, up in the top you can see it says 3,035 calories. I put the goal to be 3,000, and the right side it says minus 35. Easy to see in red because I'm over. But within 50 calorie range is perfectly fine. Sometimes it's going to be up to 100 even. But we can see breakfast, it says 970 calories. Lunch, it says 686. And dinner says 776. And then my snack is 603 calories. So you add all these together, and I got 3,035 calories in total. If I press my food where it says 3,035, if I press that, it opens up my calorie overview, and if I press on nutrients, you can see the macro split, which gets relevant for you at one point, and then the third one, which is the macros. So this is essentially the macro split. This is just where we can pre-install the macro split in MyFitnessPal, but we don't need that because I will be giving you your macronutrients, so you know which macros to hit. If you have the Pro version, meaning that you're paying for it, then you can actually press and modify how many carbohydrates you want to be eating every day on goal here. You can bring up this site here, calories 3,000, because I don't need that. I'm not paying for a Pro version, so I can just only put the percentages, but I don't necessarily need that, because when I go and see my daily targets, I just need to know this screen here. I can see on protein, I got total 221. My goal is 150. That goal is just something the app is saying. I'm not even gonna pay attention to it. The only thing that matters for me is total. So I have 221 grams of protein. I have 289 grams of carbohydrates. I have 22 grams of fiber. And then I have 111 grams of fat. Those are the macronutrients that we will be looking at. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna delete all this, and I'm gonna go through how I came to this point. So I'm just sliding. All right, we're back again here. We see now we have a blank slate, a blank day. This is how it's gonna look for you. When you come in here, we can see in the top, the 3,000 calories is a goal. I have 3,000 calories remaining. It says on the right side, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks. Exercise and water. We can put the water in, that's a good way of doing it, but I think there's other more effective ways of tracking how much water you have. But so we're just gonna focus on what we're here to learn. So macronutrients and calorie balance. Okay, so for breakfast, I always have oats, milk, protein powder with some honey. So now when we log these things, we have to make sure that we find the correct source, and we have to make sure that we find, now finding the correct source is also a food item that is correct. Sometimes people, I can literally create a food item and then someone else can find that, but I can actually put it in wrong, and then that person will be using it wrong, will get the wrong numbers, right? So we have to make sure that we find the right things. We'll always see if we can find the food items with a green tick on, because they've been confirmed to be correct. But a lot of the stuff that I have in here are not. But I kind of, the more you do this, the more you know how many calories is in 100 grams of protein in a chicken breast, for example. How many calories are in 100 grams of oats? So you start knowing that. So, and you quickly find like your favorites in there. So once you tick it off twice, and the next time you get to you'll use it. You'll just press it because it's in recent memory, and then that way you find your little collection of trustworthy food items, right? So breakfast: oats, milk, protein powder, and honey. Now I have made this list beforehand. I know how much I need of each, so I weigh each thing. You literally, how to quickly find a food item is that once you are going to breakfast, I'm gonna press add food. And then at add food, I see already here I have all my recently used, but I'm gonna pretend like there's nothing because there won't be anything with you. I'm gonna press this top right blue button that's called scan barcode. I press it, and then here, you know, you can see what I can see with my phone here. I'm literally just gonna find the barcode and scan it, and then let's say that I do that with my oats, then this is gonna come up, instant oats McGarrett. If I scan the barcode, and I know that I need 100 grams raw. Now I know these oats, this is the raw weight. So I have serving size 1 gram. 100 of those is equal 100 grams. Let's say the serving size would be 50 gram. Then if we do 100 times 50, you know, that's 5,000 grams. That's too much. So then I'm gonna have to change the number of servings to 2 for the 50 gram to turn into 100 grams. Now I can see on my screen here, it says it's 420 calories, 70 grams of carbs, 10 grams of fat, and 12 grams of protein. If I know, or if my research confirms that this is correct, I'm gonna press the tick in the top right corner. I'm gonna go boop, and then you can see under breakfast, I now have my first food item. Now is my next item, which is milk. Barcode, scan the milk, and I'm gonna just find it here because I have it pretty, I thought I had it. Okay, wait, I can just write milk and it will come up. There we go, Dutch mill. And I know I need 500 milliliters of milk. Okay, so half a liter. And I already pre-installed it to 1 milliliter in serving size. That could potentially be, for example, 1 cup if you use those sort of measurements. I don't. I use I measure in millimeters. So I find the millimeter one and change the value, number of servings. So it's 500 times 1, and that gives me 350 calories, 25 grams of carbs, 20 grams of fat, and 15 grams of protein. Okay, I know that's correct. I'm gonna press tick. So now I have 2 items in there. I'm gonna get my protein powder. Again, you could scan it. You can see here, I have it available. Rich Dimetized Elite 100% whey protein. 1 gram or 1 scoop, I know is 36 grams. That's pre-installed into the app as a standard. So I know that's correct. So I'm gonna go ahead and just press the tick. And then the last thing I need to add is my honey. Again, I can just scan it, or because I've used it recently, I'm just gonna write honey, and it's the first thing that comes up. Naked wild honey, and I use 1 tablespoon. And as the measurement type or the serving size, you can see I can decide to have the whole container if I want to, or I can 1 gram, ounce, whatever is suitable for your measurements. I use 1 tablespoon, and that's 60 calories, 70 grams of carbs, 0 fat, and 0 protein, just pure sugar. And then we press tick. And that's my breakfast, 970 calories, breakfast down. Now we're moving on to my lunch. My lunch, I have chicken, rice, avocado, and 2 closed fists of salad. Now when it goes to vegetables and salad, we don't track that. The only thing we want to get out of tracking vegetables and salad is fiber. We get fiber from a lot of green vegetables in particular, but in terms of calories and in salad and vegetables, we mainly have carbohydrates. We don't necessarily have to track it. It can easily be a lot of extra hassle. Just make it easy for yourself. And if you have a lot of salad at every meal throughout the day, if you don't dip it in oil and sauces, if we just talk about the raw materials of being vegetables and salad, it's only going to come up to like 50 or 60 calories in the end of the day. So it's not going to, the time you save from not tracking it weighs out whatever indifference you might have in calories at the end of the day. So you have my permission to do that. But remember that we do not necessarily, because we say salad, we don't count the dressing or whatever with the salad. Now it's just the food items of vegetables we talk about, right? Of course we have to log anything else that could have potentially higher calories. All right, moving on to lunch. Okay, like I said, we're gonna get some chicken. Now with the chickens and other meats and also other food items, there's something we need to be very cautious about, because the value of a cooked chicken breast is different than the value of a raw chicken breast in terms of weight. Also think about stuff like rice. 100 grams of raw rice, uncooked, versus 100 grams of cooked rice is completely different. Several hundred calories difference. So when we have these sort of unprocessed foods and we log them, we have to be specific with how we log it. So I'm gonna go to lunch. I'm gonna add my chicken. Again, I have, you see the tick down here, breast raw chicken, 230 grams. It has a green tick. I know it's certified. Again, it says it's raw. So it means that when I weigh this, I have to weigh it raw. I can't weigh it cooked. So if you have a bunch of chicken that's already cooked in your fridge, let's say you baked it in the oven, then you're gonna find chicken breast baked, right? But because before I cook my food, I weigh it for each dish and I throw it in my air fryer, I weigh it raw, so I will log it raw. It's very important you understand this part. So I have 200 grams of chicken, raw chicken, for this meal. So that's 62 grams of protein, 2 grams of fat, 0 carbs, 220 grams of 220 calories. And the next thing we're gonna go for is rice. Again, really important that we go for the right thing. So we have jasmine rice raw. Okay, I again make my rice fresh for every meal. I have the luxury and the time to do that. I do 100 grams for one meal. That gives me 351 calories. Now, had I taken 100 grams that was cooked, it would only be 120 something. So it's a huge difference. Okay, so you see the serving size is 100 grams. It's already what I need, so I just press 1. If I change this to 1 gram, if the serving size is 1 gram, I have to change this to 100, and it's 351. Okay, a ton of carbs. Plot that in there. Then we got an avocado. Add food. Avocado, we're gonna look for the tick. Wait, avocado. Here we go. So we have one medium. I need a half, so 0.5, because the serving size is already pre-installed to be a full. I could also go grams and weigh it, but I'm gonna go back to one medium-sized avocado and go half. Okay, we don't need to be too precise when it comes to these things. We just want to make sure that we make it easy for us, but of course avocado has a lot of calories. We need to make sure that we're somewhat in the right range. So half an avocado, 120 grams of calories. You can see how much fat is in these things. That's why we don't want to eat too much of it. Downing one avocado each meal throughout the day would definitely be too much. So that was my chicken, my rice, my avocado, and then I have my salad mix. I don't use any dressing or anything, so I just have that on the side. So now we're gonna go on to my dinner. Dinner, I have salmon, quinoa, and salad. So salmon, I gotta make sure I get the correct one. So I weigh it raw. So after writing salmon, I'm gonna write salmon raw, and we can see the one comes up, it says raw salmon 100 grams. Has a green tick. Let's go for that one. I have 200 grams, that's raw. Again, we can see salmon has a lot of fat. We can see it's 416 calories, where 26 of the 59% of those calories come from fat, right? So it's a very fat dense type of fish. So good, we got the salad. I'm gonna go quinoa. Q-I-I-N, I think away like this, if I don't get it wrong. Good. Again, we can see there's a ton of quinoa. I'm gonna go raw quinoa. So the first one here, I know this is not, this is correct as well. So raw quinoa, 100 grams. Actually, let me try and do something different. I'm doing raw all the way. Let's take it cooked. So we go cooked. Quinoa cooked, and we can see there's actually the second one has a green tick. It says quinoa cooked. I'm going to take 300 grams cooked. So change the serving size to 1, 300 servings. That's 300 grams, 360 calories, carbs, fats and proteins. It's all there. I'm going to go ahead and plot it through. Okay, and then the last, and they have my salads with it. Of course, like I said, I don't lock that. And the last thing here is going to be snacks. That's when I have a shake before I go to bed at night. So I have another scoop of my dimatized. I don't know why that's so hard for me to say. Where is it? There it is. Lock it in. And then I have my milk again, and I use full cream milk because I'm going for those calories. Again, 500 milliliters is pre-installed already. Take it in, and then I have some peanut butter, and then I click that in, and I can see I'm at 3,097. So that's a little bit too much. I'm gonna cut back on the peanut butter because I don't have the luxury. I'm just change the serving size to 1 gram. Tick, and then I'm gonna try 15 grams. Let's see how that goes now. 3,012 calories. That's close enough to 3,000 calories. Now, if I look at my macro split, what I am actually on my private, call it diet or meal regimen, is that I'm going for 220 grams of protein every day, and then I'm getting as many carbs as possible, but I'm not too hung up on fat and carbs. That ratio doesn't change too much for me. If I'm training a lot, I have more carbs, but right now in quarantine, it's a little bit different. So 3,000 calories. We've logged breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snack. I hope you've gotten a good idea about how to track this. Once you've downloaded the app, go ahead and connect this app with Truecoach. You can do that on your profile on Truecoach, and you simply just log in on Truecoach with your credentials, and then every single day I can follow along and see how you match your macros or the calories, or depending on what style of parameters I give you to track. It can be very different depending on how deep we want to go with this, right? So anyways, guys, I hope that you got something out of this, and you're always welcome to shoot me a message if you feel like there are things you didn't understand. This is definitely something that you're gonna get a lot better at the more you do it, and it takes a lot of time in the beginning, but once you've done this for a couple of weeks, it becomes second nature. And as you're making your food, you're weighing it on the go, and it simply just becomes, like I said, second nature. You won't think too much of it. Anyways, good luck with your first couple of days of tracking. I hope everything works out for you. Like I said, send me a message if things don't work out, and I'll be there to help you. All right, good luck.